situation we've got going on here in the world. Getting a little peculiar. I know I've said it before, but how's everybody doing? Well, it's getting pretty dicey, to say the least. First and foremost, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. It's a dicey situation out there. They're going after the doggos, which can't understand that. Now you crossed the line. Now you crossed the line in my book. I mean, there's a lot of line crossing, but yep. I was trying to think of a. It's pretty dark out in the old world, and a lot of crazy stuff is going on. And I know that a lot of people are out there like, what's going to happen next? What's going on? Like, the world is trash. Everything's on fire. The world is garbage. And I will second that notion. I'll tickle your bag on that one because you're not wrong there, Jack. But I will also before I just go in there and start tickling your bag, I just want to remind you that, you know, we got to remember to be thankful for being alive. We got to remember to be thankful for being alive, because it is entirely plausible that pretty soon, one day, we won't be. So let's just be thankful that we're here on Earth, that we're good looking, we're living our best life, and hopefully we're all healthy and safe. And the world is not a trash factory. So let's just remember to be thankful to be alive. Let's just start with that. I was trying to come up with some type of comparable historical event to try to equate where I believe we're at right now. And the one that kept coming back to my third Ojo was that it's kind of like our boy Paul Revere. It's kind of like our old boy Paul Revere. If anybody remembers Paul Revere, for all of us that went to school or whatever, Paul Revere is on his horseback at night or whenever it was, whatever. Don't at me. Fact check. It was at noon, whatever. And Paul Revere was like, yo, the British are coming. And the comparable to what I feel like is going on right now on Earth is like, we're all like galloping through. We're like, yo, the British are coming. And some jabron is like standing on his front porch like, oh, who told you that? Cornelius tell you that? Like, I saw him in the town square freaking out. It's like, no, I just saw them with my eyes, Bill. Like, what do you mean? They're like, Cornelius is always lying. It's like, all right, well, the British are coming. Deuces. Like, I'm about to ride through here and tell other people. It's like, what are you doing? They're like, oh, so it's like, it's like I've been growing this account and reaching more people. Thankfully, thanks to you guys, the spreading of the word, people waking up, people being aggro, people looking at the world and realizing that it's kind of on fire, whatever. More and more people have just come out with some hatred, a little bit of hatred in the comments, a little bit of hatred in the DMs, which is hilarious. Just a heads up, little PSA to anybody who is an adult human person that slides into people's DMs to leave hateful comments. We don't care, just in case you were curious. They're like, I'm about to get this. It's like, okay, like people are in my DM like, you're an asshole. It's like, all right, thanks, Sharon. Like, I don't even know what to tell you. Like, who hurt you? Like, sorry about that. I don't know what to tell you. Like, maybe just think that, unfollow. I don't know what to tell you, whatever. But I got a comment on one of my videos today that was just one of my videos today about the FDA. And it is a 15-second video where I just stated a literal human fact, a fact of Earth. It's like, I literally was just like, this is an actual fact. It was like 10 seconds. And some human adult person, apparently, whatever, some human I don't even know what they are, whatever, it doesn't matter, was like, oh, they're like, oh, can't trust anybody, can't trust them because your Lord and Savior Johnny Ballpark didn't say it. I'm like, what? They're like, you're gonna go and inject bleach and just drink a can of bleach, and it's like, dog, like Donnie lives literally rent-free in every apartment in your head. Like, what do you mean? I haven't mentioned Donald Ballpark in like months, in like literally several months, and they're just like, oh, did Donnie tell you to drink bleach? It's like, dog, what are you doing? Like, excuse me, bro. Like, this is the Milky Way galaxy, guy. Please come back down to like the Earth's crust where the rest of us are hanging out. Like, what are you doing? Are you gonna just drink bleach? It's like, no. It's like this. I'm like, it's 4 p.m. and the sun's out. He's like, oh, who told you that, Danny? It's like, no. It's like, literally, no. I looked outside with my binoculars. Like, they're just like, oh, dude, it's just like, who hurt you? Like, they're just like, Donnie's in a pineapple under the sea. It's like, no, he's not. Oh my God. So anyways, the purpose, the British are coming. The British are coming. Who told you that, Donnie? It's like, no. It's like, I rode my horse by the sea and I saw them coming up the hill. And he's like, oh, what are you going to do now? Churn your own butter? It's like, no. It's like, I'm going to grab my musket, Jack. Like, what do you mean? Like, do whatever you want, but like, they're coming. What are you going to say next? That they're going to tax us without representation? That they're going to tax our tea? You idiot. It's like, I'm just going to gallop off to somebody else that might listen. It's like, I'm like literally riding through the neighborhood at night, like on top of like a golden steed, just like, yo, heads up. Like, literally no other incentive other than I want to save the village. And they're just like, who told you that? It's like, I don't know, bro. Like, what do you want? Like, did you want me to draw a picture of it on papyrus and carry it? Like, they're down there. I don't even know. How'd you know it was them? It's like, they're wearing red coats. They got a British flag. They're like, but how? It's like, that could have been some antiquaith. It's like, ha! But whatever. That's where we are right now. Well, what are you going to put? Are you going to put sunbeams into your body? It's like, dog, like, turn off Don Lime. Like, what are you doing? Don Lime said, it's like, oh my God. What are you going to do now? Who told you that, Donnie? It's like, yes. Like, I have a super secret upside down military contact. Oh man. So anyways, back to the regularly scheduled programming. What I wish more folks, since that's the politically correct thing to say, what I wish more folks would realize is that in a lot of ways, we're all on the same team, and we really kind of like are on the same team, because whether most people realize it or not, we're all against like tyrannical government overreach. And like, even though everybody's against that, it's like they don't even understand that that's what they're up against. They think it's like a Donnie Joey basement. Like, there's all these people that are like literally residing at the surface level of understanding what's actually going on, and they're like, "Who told you that, Donnie?" It's like, bro, like, oh, it's just like, some people can't be helped, and it's just like, you're an adult human being, and you're just gonna like write these comments. Like, some guy made a comment on one of my posts yesterday, and he's like, how about you use your platform to get us through this? And I was like, hey, Brian, like, first of all, who the fudge are you, Brian? Secondly, what do you think I'm doing? Thirdly, how about I just do whatever I want to do on my page, Brian? It's like, okay. He's like, oh, what are you going to do? He's like, you selfish prick. And then he's like, you seem like a cool dude. And then like an emoji of like the tongue sticking out guy. Like, you seem like a cool dude. Like, I'm like, bro, no, like when you turn 16 years old, you're not allowed to use the sticking tongue out emoji anymore. For a man, for a human male, you're not allowed to use that after age 13 and a half. Brian's like, he's like 53. He's just like that. He's like, he's like, use your platform for something that I approve of. Brian. I'm like, no, Brian. Like, your spare parts, aren't you, bud? Thank you, Jesse, on YouTube. Use your platform for what I want, you prick. I'm like, Jesus. I'm like trying to have like, I'm like eating a granola bar, like minding my own business on Sunday, just like, good grief. Like, Brian is very mad today. And like, because I just like love everything, I read these comments and I'm like, okay, and I like go to their page and it's just like these blurry photos of like a tree or like what they made for dinner yesterday, and they're just like, they're like made a delicious snack, and it's like, why don't you use your platform for something, Brian? He's like, no, why don't you do what I want? I'm like, oh, the British are coming, Brian. Oh, goo. It's like, fuck. You can't reach them all, Jack. You cannot reach them all. But I'm mad at you. Like, you're an adult. Like, shouldn't you be like putting money into your 401k or something? And she's like, they're on their phone, just like, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get this guy. It's like it's like there's 7 billion people in the world. There's all these there's all these emotions that you can have, and you chose to be salty on a Sunday. But all right, whatever. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. What I wish more people would understand is that, and I think Jordan Sarmo put this very, very well on his podcast. I listened to his podcast today about his like Corona clap recovery story. And he said, he basically said, none of us are anti-juice. We're not anti the existence of juice. We're not necessarily even anti this juice. What we are anti is the government being like, I'm going to deperson you. I'm not going to allow you to like go purchase food at a grocery store. I'm not going to let you watch a movie film and not allow you to like move freely about the cabin. Like, oh, sorry, your freedoms are suspended because like Joey Chocolate Choco Chip, who literally doesn't even know what planet he's on, is just like, go make him do that. And it's like, and I think what's so crazy is just like the hey, the British are coming moment, which is happening right now, is Australia. It's like Paul Revere is on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, yo, are y'all seeing what is occurring right now in Australia? And they're just like, oh, who told you that? Donnie? And like Donnie's like literally on the 9th hole, like trying to hit for par. Like Donnie's worried about like what he's gonna have on his turkey sandwich when he passes the halfway point on the 18th in the 18 holes. It's like Donnie's like literally trying to putt for par, and they're like, who told you that, Donnie? And I'm just like, no, like why is your mind so like, stuck in this like binary red blue like trap? They're just like, it's like, don't you understand? Like, I literally was posting about the FDA, and they're just like, so do you think that anybody that doesn't think that that doesn't think it's messed up that lady did all that with the OxyContin and all this other stuff? Did anybody that thinks these actual human facts? Not to mention, I didn't even give an opinion. I just stated a literal fact. He's like, who told you that, Danny? It's like, bro, like that's the problem. That it's like literally, I'm Paul Revere. I'm not Paul Revere. I'm just saying, like, fact check. He's not Paul Revere. Whatever. I'm Pompeo's great grandson. Whatever. But it's like I'm carrying the lantern. Not even me. Everybody. All of us. We've got the lantern. We're on the horse, and like even the horse is like. He's like, no, like the horse is just like, no, like literally no. Like he got me out of the barn for this. And it's like, you're going to suggest that this was like that we're all just like, Donnie. It's like, no, if you even listen to what Donnie says, you would know that has nothing to do with it. But they're just like, it's just like, why are you wrapped up? Like Donnie has the deed to your brain. It's like, what do you mean? Like you just quit claimed your logic deed to Donnie Ballpark. And he just leveled it and built high-end condominiums. And they're just like, what are you going to do? Drink bleach? It's like, bro, what are you going to say next? There's very fine people on both sides. Like, watch things. Like, read more. What do you mean? Like, pay attention. They're just like, they like come in the 9th inning. And they're just like, who told you that? It's like, who hurt you, bro? Anyways. Anywho. So, and another thing that I just find really puzzling about the current state of things is like, there's all these people that are like, yo, the government's bad, and they're all the like Bernie Sanders types that like they're like on their front lawn like screaming, like pointing at the moon, just like, get off my lawn, socialism. Like, it's just like the exact same government that they supposedly think is up like top to bottom rooted in systemic whatever, and like is so bad and evil. They're like, give us free everything, and then they don't trust the government, and the government's so bad and it's so evil and it's rooted in systemic whatever. But then they're just like, do what it says, like right now, because they want to, because they believe that that's the right thing. It's like, bro, haven't you seen the videos of like the underworld sea serpent, demonic serpent creature, Nancy Pelosi, like haggardly standing in front of like a table of like 1,000 white people, all just like eating high-end meats and cured meats and such? Like from a couple of days ago, just like maskless, like breathing particles like into each other's face, and like Barry O at his party with Erykah Badu, just like motorboating particles into everybody's mouth while they're on Martha's Vineyard on a scaled back party with 700 people at it. And they're all just like laughing in our face, just like eating eggs Benny, just like just like eating crab legs, just laughing. And then you see today, literally today, I watched the clown sneaker in chief, Bill Hot DeGarbio in New York City on some freaking boat in Staten Island, just being like, this is great. Goo, they're saying that New York is losing people. We ain't losing. New York is back. New York is back. And it's like, bro, the guy's like standing 1 inch away from a person with no diaper. Even in the shot, there's like 6 people with no diapers on inside. They don't even know how to follow their own rules. These people are full of malarkey. And they're just like, they're like, you're not allowed to buy a coffee unless you have a diaper and an ID. It's just like, oh God. And it's like, if this dude that was like, oh, you're gonna just drink a bucket of bleach now because Donnie told you to drink bleach. It's like, bro, are you even looking in the time where you spend your precious seconds here on earth, like making mean comments to me in my DM and on my videos? It's like you could have like watched a video or whatever. They're like, oh, would you find it on Instagram? It's like, bro, I get information from a variety of different locations just because it's more trustworthy because you saw it on MSNBC because Rachel Maddow vomited it out of her face. It's like, okay. It's like, yeah, I see it wherever I can see it. It's just like, then I go and independently validate it by using a multitude of different search engines, websites, and different verification tools, like reading stuff and looking to things and talking to people. And they're just like, would you do your own research, you freak? It's like you know things are bad when people are just like, would you research it? It's like, yeah. That's what I did. They're just like, they're like the FDA. They're like the Center for Garbage Control has $50 trillion. You think you could do better research than them? It's like, oh, that's so funny that you say that because the United States military is like twice the size of every other military existing on the world today. We got the most firepower, weaponry, technology, and force of any army that's ever existed for any country in the history of human existence, in the history of the literal world. And the people that are running that supposed army, this all-powerful force that has literally circumnavigated the globe and posted up in hundreds of different countries, unperturbed, not even caring. They're going to be like, we have to ask these guys in robes to please let us through with the guns that we left for them. It's like, bro, what? We got like jets that could travel like undetected at the speed of freaking sound, like with no one even in them. And they're just like, we have to ask them to let us show a passport. It's like, what? It's like, you believe these people? I'm just saying, it's like, I don't know. They're just like, believe this, but not this. The British are coming. Who told you that, Donnie? It's like, no. It's like, dog, I'm just saying, trust no one. You don't even trust me. Independently validate the stuff that I talk about. If you would notice, I don't know if anybody has noticed this, I'm sure you guys have because you're all high IQ individuals, as is necessary in order to even care about this type of content. But like, what people will notice is that I don't always like cite the study or cite the information because I don't necessarily know that it's crucial information for the video itself. I just tell you the thing and then you go find it and validate it because that's what's important, is that you understand that it's your responsibility to find the information. I just repeat and distribute the information and I'm like, huh! And then people could go get it. All you need from me is 15 seconds. You don't need to be like, in the June 13th report from the Center of Bag of Rice. It's like, And that's the thing. And like, if people start validating the stuff that I say over and over and over again, you start to realize like, yo, this dude is actually saying things that actually occur. It's like, you don't need me to be like, for the June 30th study, page 26. It's like, I'm just saying, go look it up. Like, it's probably better for all of us that that's what you do anyways, but whatever. People are like, who told you that? Who told you the British are coming? Donnie Baseball's son, his stupid son. It's like, who hurt you? I'm just saying. like literally who hurt you, but whatever. Oh, good. So yeah. But like, as everybody gets mad at each other and they're like, Donnie, Joe, Danny. A thing that I think is really important to remember is like, what is going on right now? For example, in Afghanistan, is like, look, there's suffering that occurs around the world. There's horrible things that happen around the world all the time. There's really bad stuff that happens in the entire world all of the time, right? And what's going on in Afghan is horrendous, to say the least, with the babies and the water and the foods and it's hot out, it's 90 degrees, people are going nuts. Like, show me your passport, and they're like, okay, like they have like an AK, and they're just like, go on, pass on through, Jeff. And it's like, I'm sure that's what's occurring as they like literally like beat people like in the street and just like behead people. They're just like, oh, is that a piece of paper you have? Here, pop on through there, Jeff. Head on into the airport there, Jeff. And it's like, okay. So, and they're like, we're asking you know what else pisses me off? It pisses me off that literally it's being broadcast around the world that the Taliban is like making these threats, and they're like, if you don't get out by August 31st, there will be consequences. It's like, dog, did that man that lives in a literal cave just tell us that there's going to be consequences? And Joe's like, okay, what? It's like, yo, hello, ho. It's like, we have tanks, dog. Like, we have, like, what are we doing? I don't know. Also, how anybody could be like, this is fine after we like left $80 billion worth of like materials and weaponry and like trucks and Humvees and freaking helicopters over there. It's like, okay. But anyways, the thing is that like what people don't even understand is like, you know who wins from all that? All those weapons are all bought and paid for. You know who wins? The military industrial complex wins. All those weapons are paid for. All those Blackhawks, all those weapons and planes and guns, all those are already paid for. All those grenades, the grenade launchers, everything, all the armor, everything. Stuff's all paid for. And what does it mean that you give $86 billion of it away? Last time I checked, that means you got to go buy $86 billion worth of stuff, but whatever. So who wins? The military industrial complex. Who wins as a result of all the fear happening? The military industrial complex. But anyways, I got sidetracked. What I was trying to say is that while we're all focused on what's going on in Afghanistan, is that there's like really bad things happening here. You know, it's like there's really bad things happening here, like the mandatory juice for all the teachers. So it's like you got all these people that literally, thanks to our frontline heroes, I'm gonna like 7 months ago, they're like, hero, you're my hero. They're like letting them in, they're like giving them seats at the basketball game. They're like, we gave all of our frontline heroes the seats at the Miami Heat game for them to lose by 76 points. They're like, we gave them front row seat. They're like, we did a parade today where they all drove down the street and people are hanging out the window like clang, 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 like hitting pots and pans and shit. Like those people care about that. They're like, just give us more money or whatever. And they're like, clang, clang, thanks to our heroes. And then like among this huge like labor shortage and all of this, like everything's overrun, there's not enough resources. They're like, oh, you're not going to take the juice? Well, you're fired. Like, forget your career, forget your everything, forget everything you ever worked for. Let's take qualified educators, let's take qualified medical professionals, and let's just fire them. You got all these people like incentivized to stay home because of all the money that they've been paying out, and then they're just like, yeah, let's just fire them. And it's just like, oh, God. They're like, thanks to our frontline workers. It's like, you guys, these people are sick. So, anyways, the thing that I think is important to remember, and which would be really cool if more people realize, is that like they have successfully figured out a way to distract us from paying attention to the things that are happening quite literally in our own backyard. Like there's all this stuff happening here. And like, look, I feel bad for what's going on in Afghanistan. Obviously, I think every one of us does. Any person with a couple of ojos and a little bit of a heart is like, good grief. Like this is horrible. So like we all get that. But it's like, what's going on to the people that are working and educating our children, educating the children here in the United States, the healthcare workers, all the frontline workers, the police officers, and all of the military and armed services people that they're just like, meh, they're like swallow this juice or kick rocks, jabroni. It's like every possible thing that could transpire to be the worst ever is all just like happening simultaneously at the same time. Somebody on Facebook is asking me what literally means. It means literally. I just say literally. Literally, it's literally whatever. It's the same thing. No, they're like, is that French? No, it's not French. That would be kind of funny if I just used one French word all the time. But anyhow, she's like, oh, yeah. So, anyways. It is really sad that all of these people are distracted and stuck in the red blue trap, stuck in the Donnie Joe trap, stuck in this trap where they think that for some reason that this structure somehow has our best interest in mind. When we literally print, I think in 2020, I was reading this the other day, and I know that this has been true. I've known about this for a while, but it's like some high percentage of all money ever printed into existence happened in 2020. 30% or something like that of all money ever printed was printed in 2020. It's like Donnie ran up the deficits. Joe's running up the deficits. They're literally reinforcing the nanny state. They're paying people off. They're messing things up overseas. They literally screw up every single thing that they trust ever. Yet somehow this thing that's going to be right in your body, they somehow managed to not screw that up when not even 9 months ago, they were saying, I'm not going to trust it. If Donnie was in the lab engineering it himself, Donnie. And it's like, bro, just in case you didn't know, there was a bunch of Republicans that voted for this infrastructure bill, that voted to put this multi-trillion-dollar infrastructure bill through. Plus, there's a lot of Republicans that are not speaking up about all of these horrible things. So it's like, okay, like these people are not on our side. Meanwhile, I think you only have to serve in Congress for 4 years or 6 years or something before you get 80% of your salary and pension for the rest of your life. But these people are like not on our side. It's like the only people that are really on the thing that the side that we're all on, the side of like no forced like biomedical nanny state. It's like we're all against that. It's just everybody is distracted with this like blue-red trap, thinking that like Mitch McConnell or any of these clowns are going to somehow save us. It's like, it's so bad. And then you look at a place like Australia and it's like you get a $5,000 fine for exercising outside alone for more than 1 hour. What? So you can't even go for a walk. It's like, it's tragic. And there's some statistic where it's like 70 some odd percent of all the people that are in the hospital with the corona clap are obese. And they're just like, you can't go to the gym. You can't work out. Like you're not allowed. And then in France, it's like, you're not allowed to go to the grocery store unless you have the juice. It's like, this is like, it's all happening. And it's just like every single objective visual to be like, yo, the British are coming is right there. And people are like, who told you about Australia, Donnie? It's like, yeah, it was Donnie. Oh, who told you that? Don, would you read that on the back of a bottle of bleach that you drank? Cause Donnie, it's like, bro, who hurt you? That's the reminder. So it's like Australia is the test subject for the entire world's tyrannical overreach. And what's happening there is it's nothing sort of frightening. And what I posted in that reel that I made this morning about them killing those dogs, it's like, I don't understand how a human being could go and kill 15 rescue dogs, shoot them because their local government was like, shoot those dogs. First of all, who's the human being that was like, yeah, do that? Second of all, who's the human being that carried out that mission? And it's like, who would have gotten the Corona clap if they allowed for those dogs to go into the homes of people? Like, they would have let people rescue them. If anything, it would have made people happier. So it's just like, I don't understand. And then, like, you can't be outside breathing oxygen. They've come out with a bunch of evidence that suggests that the number one transmission spot for the clap is indoors, in the home, in your own home, for that matter. And they're just like, stay in your home. I saw this other thing today that said, I think in Australia, they have the ability to seal off apartment buildings. They can seal off an apartment building. You know what that's called? Let me see if I can figure out what that's called. Prison. That's called being in prison, just in case anybody was curious. But it's like, all right. Linda on Facebook says, can we get somebody under 70? Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, it's quite clear and has become more than evident that your health is not what any of this stuff is about. It's about how far can they exercise power before people do something about it. There was another case I just saw the other day of I think it was a 29-year-old man in Australia organizing some protests, and they sentenced him to 8 months in prison for doing that. So again, it comes back to the gratitude and the being thankful, not only for being alive, but being thankful, hey, for example, that we live, in the United States of America. And for all of us that don't, for everyone that lives like in Canada or other countries, I am so sorry for that. But if you live in the United States, as bad as it is, I would highly suggest that we take a minute to be thankful that we don't go to prison for protesting. And you know what else is so remarkable is, like, in the US, they have laws about, like, well, if you break quorum queef and all this other stuff, that they're just like, you could get arrested for that. You can get fined for that. You can have a small business owners are going to get fined for not checking somebody's papers when they come in to buy a freaking cup of coffee. Yet all those people that broke into and looted stores, the tens of thousands of people that rioted in different cities around the country, like Chicago, Portland, New York City, and everywhere, all those people got bailed out. None of those people went to prison for that. And even the vice president of the United States, Krusty, was like tweeting out links to this fund where you can help donate money to get these clowns out of prison. So it's like, and I don't want to make it like this biblical, because everybody's always like, it was written, it's in the 7th book of whatever. And it's like, yeah, okay, fine. I'm not trying to make it that, but it's like, it's become quite clear that, like, this is like almost like a good versus evil type of situation. And like, these people are just sick. So again, for the 50,000th time, could we all just understand that this is not about this juice, nor is it about juice in general. It's about overreach. It's about tyrannically run power over all of the people, because once it's gone, it's gone. That's it. It's like, you could argue that it's gone everywhere in the world. You would have a completely legitimate argument that is gone in Australia. You don't have freedom anymore in Australia. They took away your guns. They took away your freedom. They locked you in your house. They're making it illegal for you to travel more than 3.5 miles. You lost it in France. You lost it in a variety of different countries around the world, at least the developed, safe, and modern countries. In Canada, they're saying, I think in a couple weeks in Canada, you won't be able to fly on a plane, train, or bus if you didn't get the juice. Now, mind you, and now the other thing that I think is really important for people to remember is, like, because all these people will be like, well, how many people did you want to die? They're like, yeah, and they all get like hung up. They're like, it's like everybody is just super smooth brain, and they're like, they can't look beneath the surface. They can't look to the depth of what's going on. They'll be like, especially on TikTok. I don't know what it is about TikTok, but people are vicious on there. I don't know what it is. And so the default is like, it's 14-year-olds. It's like, yeah, sometimes. But there's like a lot of real aggro, really like pent up rage people from all around the world on TikTok that are very mad. But it'll be like, hey, they'll be like, hey, they're like, how many people did you want to die? Did you want your grandma, my grandfather's uncle's son, do you want them to die? It's like, bro, no. It's like, you don't understand. It's like people are forgetting the very specific factoids. All right, here's a little news flash. In 2019, nearly 50,000 people died in the United States of America alone from opioid overdoses. 50,000 people died. Some 46, 40, 43, 45,000 people die in the United States alone every year from opioid overdoses. 50,000. Okay. So it's just like, don't you think in 2020 those numbers are up? In the city of San Francisco, for example, the suicides were up. More people died of suicide in 2020 than died of the corona clap in San Francisco. Yet you can't go and buy a freaking you can't go and buy a toasted panini in a freaking grocery store unless you got the juice. You can't go in and get a shot of espresso. You can't get a cup of tea. They're just like, nope, sorry, not allowed. It's like, imagine a person that is literally recommended by their literal doctor. They're like, don't do this. You have allergies to these things. And they're like, nope, no exceptions. Imagine if you lived in San Francisco and you weren't able to go do that. Imagine what that would do to your mental health. Imagine what that would do to your physical health. Oh, you can't go to the gym. It's like, okay. Meanwhile, there's like people are killing themselves. There's all these suicides over there. Yet they're just like, who told you that, Donnie? It's like, you're dumb. So I think that what most of these people are forgetting is that it's like, okay, they're just like, how many people did you want to die? One is too many. It's like, bro, 10,000 people. I made a video about this one time. 10,000 people died in the United States in the last 15 years by strangling themselves with their own bed sheets by accident. 10,000 people. You're talking like 850 people a freaking year. You're talking like 50 people a month, 75 people a month, whatever the number is, die accidentally strangling themselves to death with their own bed sheets. And they're just like, can't they? It's like, you're talking about 25 million people in Australia that are literally imprisoned in a 2-mile, 3-mile radius. They can't even go out because of one case. It's like, what? So it's like, you don't know how accurate the tests even are. You even know that the original creator of the test is like, don't use these tests for this, but they're like, nah, forget about that. They're like, trust the science, trust the doctors, like 15,000 doctors that are like, nah, this is no good. And they're just like, nah, not them. They're like, Fauci. It's like, okay. So you have all these facts, and then it's just like, the World Garbage Organization is literally like, you shouldn't be using lockdowns as a way of mitigating the spread because it literally has no effect. Yet they're just like, lockdown. They don't even care. They do it anyways. The main source of spread is the home. They're like, stay at home. The main one of the biggest problems is obesity. Can't go to the gym. You can't exercise outside. No exercising outside. It's like, all right. It's like, I don't like, it's just like, are you guys even looking at this? Like, what are we doing? Meanwhile, they're just like, you're going to go drink bleach or Danny? It's like, bro, it's like, literally, who hurt you? Secondly, what is going on? Like what? Like, who hurt you though? I don't know. It's sad. It's just like, sometimes you look at them and you're like, it's like, I'm like, you have like an aneurysm. You're just like, how are people this unaware of what's going on? But whatever. So again, they're like, how many people do you want to die? They're like, and the people in Australia on TikTok, specifically on TikTok, they're just like, man, they're like, boom, 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 boom. I'm smooth brain, whatever. Raise your hand if you're sick of that fucking video. Yo, go to work. Okay, get a job. Oh, I'm sorry. That's rich coming from you. Who told you about that, Donnie? It's like, okay. Anyways, Anybody else? Anybody else see that? Freaking! Oh my god, I hate that video. Or the one where they're just like, they're like, it's like, develop a hobby. I don't know. Oh my god. Human beings are choosing to spend their time like this, their precious time on Earth, but whatever. Come on, bro. Come on. It's like I'm like watching society like melt away. And then the worst thing is I'm sitting there watching it like, oh no. It's like, so every time you open TikTok, I try not to spend too much time on TikTok. Cause like I'm trying to like maintain my sanity and like basic grip on reality. Every time you open TikTok, it'll like play a video immediately. It's like I'm like TikTok, or like some thirsty 19-year-old chick that's like, she's like, whoops, like, I can't stand it. I hate TikTok so much. She's like, buy something from my Amazon list. It's like, who's doing that? Apparently somebody, probably a lot of people. Anyways, so back to what I was saying. So people are like, well, how many people do you want to die? It's like, bro, you're not paying attention. You're not paying attention to all the statistics, all of the things that people are not paying attention, that are not talking about. They're not tracking the suicides. They're not talking about the missed cancer screenings. They're not talking about the people that are literally getting taken off of organ donor lists or organ recipient lists because they're choosing not to receive the juice. They're forgetting all the different people, human people that reside on Earth that are like, their literal doctor is like, don't do that. And they're just like, forget about those people. It's like, okay. It's like a literal doctor that literally knows them is like, don't do that. And they're just like, nope, sorry. And it's like, these people are juice supremacists, stole that from Anomaly. It's like, how do I put this the right way? The total sum of human suffering cannot be summarized by a case or death count of an individual virus. Okay? The human suffering is far greater than these statistics will ever lead us to believe. And the fact that they can come out and point blank be like, we have corona clap deaths and we have deaths with corona clap, and they're the same thing. How people around the planet can somehow think that despite that this is the biggest concern in the world is beyond me. They literally say, so you've got people that are literally on hospice that are about to die of some other cause, and they die, and then they're financially incentivized to say that it's a corona clap. It's like, how many of those are even real? How many of those deaths are even from it? 78% of the number, or whatever else, 78% of the people are obese. And so it's like you have people that have 2.6 pre-existing comorbidities. So it's like people that already are at risk, that may already be overweight, that may be 80 years old, and they look at a statistic, a single number, and they're like, death, one death. And it's like, what's so insane about Australia is like they're doing this not even over a death, but over a case. And the people are so brainwashed that they'll literally take their precious time and go on my TikTok videos and comment and be like, how many people did you want to die? It was you wouldn't feel that way if it was your cousin or whatever. And it's like, dog, how many people committed suicide as a result of them losing their business? How many people committed suicide as a result of them being locked in their house? I believe in the UK, more people under the age of 18 committed suicide in 2020 than died of the corona clap. And they cited all these lockdowns and not being able to communicate with their friends and family, not being able to go to school. It's like, bro. So again, like the total of human suffering cannot be summarized by a limited amount of deaths or an amount of cases or whatever for a specific virus. It's like there's so much more suffering that's happening as a result that everybody is overlooking because they're like cases and cases and deaths and it's like, okay. So then it's like here they are, and then they're like, oh, you're against juices? Juices have been used since and it's like, yeah, all those other juices were around for decades, around for many, many years, tested, tried and true over many, many years for things that were much more dangerous than this, and not expedited out in a fraction of time, not using a specific technology that never existed before. I'm just saying, like, I'm not anti-juice. Like, I got the flu juice, and mysteriously the flu disappeared. So it's just like, it's so sad that people are so wrapped up in this virtue signal of like, I don't want people to die. It's like, bro, people fail to understand that the obvious position on a very troubling topic at a very troubling time, a very emotional time, the most obvious position is usually not the right position. It's like, how could anybody be against people dying? It's like, how could they be against that? How could they be against all of this stuff? And it's just like, I wonder if they ever take a second to think, like, do they just think that just everybody's dumb and just everybody's heartless, and people are just like out there talking about this and losing their jobs and all of this stuff? Because why? Because of this blind allegiance to Donnie Ballpark? That's what they think all these people are doing. And it's like, there's probably a lot of people that are anti this particular juice for their particular body at this particular moment in time that voted for Crust or voted for Bernard Sandbags. Get off my lawn. It's like, yet they're just like, who told you that, Donnie? It's like, ah. So it's just like very troubling that the vast majority of people can't see beyond the cases and deaths and whatever of this specific thing right now. And they don't understand the whole toll of human suffering. Like the amount of people that probably died of cancer that wouldn't have to die of cancer because they would have been able to go to the hospital to get their screenings. To all the different older people, all the elderly people that were in nursing homes that probably could have lived a more fulfilling end of their life by seeing their loved ones, talking to them, having people around them, being able to exercise, that couldn't and ended up dying prematurely as a result. All these people that had to end their life in suffering. And they're like, this mom in Baton Rouge, Louisiana with 23 kids died. And it's like, that's terrible. And we all feel very bad about this one lady. But imagine if they put on TV how many people have taken their own life. Imagine if they did that. They're like, this guy in San Francisco, this gal in San Francisco, this child in the UK. Imagine if that was on CNN with Don Lime. It's like, Don Lime, you belong on the rim of a marg and nowhere else, Don Lime. Like, you're garbage. And then Don Lime will be in a photo with a guy standing 27 feet away with his diaper on. Donnie Lime has his diaper on. Good job, Don. He's like, we're riding our bike in New York. The city that never sleeps. It's like, shut up, Don. And Don Lime will be like, wear your diaper, be safe. And then he'll take a picture of like 1,000 people. He's like right next to all these people in the green room at the freaking I Love New York concert with all of his cool friends. Juicy juice. Don Lime got the juice. Look at me, I'm Don Lime with all my stupid friends. Look, I'm Don Lime. It's like, Don Lime, who picked your shirt? It looks like a literal potato sack. Don. He's like, yeah. He's like, wear a mask. Keep everybody safe. I'm going to wear a diaper outside alone, except when I'm around Gail King, because I love Gail. I love you, Gail. Hey, guys, come on. Everybody gather around for a photo. I got my potato sack on. Everybody gather around. Don Lime's going to take a pic. Everybody, quick. Don Lime wants to snap a pic. Stay safe, though, guys. Stay safe. Here's a pic of me outside with my diaper with 10,000 people. Everybody stay safe. Shut up, Lime. It's like, who picked your shirt, Don? Whatever. That sure is just funny. Whatever. But anyways, I'm just saying, it's like these people. And then here's the other thing. This is the other thing. It's just like, if you even spend like 15 minutes watching and paying attention to this stuff, you're like, yo, wait, what? Okay. Let me just rest on your back. I'm gonna go up and down your fleshy fun bridge for a second, and I'm gonna pop one into your news. Who remembers this? Who remembers like a freaking day ago when they were like, yeah, people that have gotten the juice can still get the juice or can still get the virus. They can still pass The virus, and it can stick in their nasal pharynx. Cool, cool, cool. Fouch. John Kerry's like, Mom. He's like, wear the man. Everybody wear the name. John Kerry's up. John. I flew in for Bronx party. And Don Lime's like, why the long face? John, he's just like, because Martha's Vineyard has a bunch of guys. So like, okay, so you can get the clap and you can pass the clap to other people that have gotten the juice. You can still pass it just as easily and you can still get it, even though statistically it sounds like whatever, but you can still pass it the same. Yet there's all these people at all these concerts in New York that all are, everybody got the juice. And there's like 10,000 to 50,000 people all together outside, like breathing particles into each other's nasopharynx. And it's like, bro, it's like, we see you. Like, we see you. What do you mean? And then you got like Don Lime riding. I love following Don Lime on Instagram. He's like, me and the hubby are riding bicycles. We're about to get on the subway with no diaper. It's like, cool, Don. Who cares? Who's out there like sick? Look, guys, look. Did you see Don Lime's story today? He's on a bike. Sick. He's like, we're at Broadway now. And everyone's like, sick. It's like, who's following him like that? Like, I follow because it's hilarious. Free content. I'm just saying. But it's like, all right. They're like, New York's back, baby. And then like all these clowns. It's like, yo, have you ever been to a concert? Has anybody here ever been to a concert? Show of hands. Cool, me too. Could you imagine being at a concert and seeing some lurch like Chuck Schumer on stage, like, yeah, and freaking Bill Hot DeGarbio? It's like, dog, it's like, I'm here to see KRS-One, not Bill DeGarbaggio. I'd rather watch a trash can get tipped over and lit on fire than listen to Bill DeGarbio. I'll be like, everybody put your hands in the air for DeGarbio. And then Lurch, Chuck Schumer comes on. He's like, hey, everybody. He's like, I'm going to spit a fresh rhyme. It's like, no, Chuck. No. You're not supposed to wear pleated khakis to an outdoor concert, Chuck. He's like got his glasses at like the end of his nose. He's like, I'm about to spit a fresh rhyme. It's like, get off the stage. Who gave this lurch a microphone? They're like, pass the mic to Chuck. It's like, no. These dudes are like, they're like living out this sick fantasy where they want to be celebrities. These people want to be celebrities so bad. Bill DeGarbaggio thinks he's funny. Dog, you're not funny. You're not even good at the thing you're supposed to be good at. You're terrible at everything. What's your daughter doing today? Is she protesting somewhere naked on the ground in a fit of rage? Protesting the system? Pay attention to your own home, DeGarbio. And then you have the dehydrated owl Cuomo giving his farewell speech as he's just like, buy my book. He like literally is like reciting. He's like, I love New York. It's like, bro, we want you to go. Like, you're a dehydrated owl. Like, find your way back to the forest, Jack. He's like, before I go, let me remind you, I sell books. Buy my book. I love New York. It's like, bro, rename the Cuomo Bridge back to the Tappan Zee, you garbage merchant. Those women were believable, you trash factory. Oh, yeah, there's only like 7,000 pages of evidence. There's only like 60,000 pages of evidence, 73 credible interviews. He's like, this didn't happen. It's like, yo, you owl, like, fly away. I don't know. He's just like, this didn't. It's like, yo, what's up with your neck? It's like, you look like a barn owl. They're like, this concert's not hype enough. Get Chuck and Bill DeGarbio up on there. Hey, Warren, hit the mic, Warren. Warren's like, it's me, Warren Wilhelm Jr., guys. Everybody, thanks for coming out. And everyone's like, boo. I watched this video, and the DJ from the video or on the stage was the same guy that was the DJ at Barry O's birthday party and at his inauguration, at Barry's 50th birthday and his inauguration. And I'm like watching this guy DJ, and he was just like doing all of the most annoying things that DJs ever do. Everybody put your hands up. Like he was about to drop this beat, and he dropped that song, like a song that was like 5 years old. It was like dun, 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 dun. I can't even remember because it was so stupid. It was like literally playing a top 40 hit from like 5 years ago. And he's like, everybody jump on the count of three. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, jump. And then like the guy pans to the audience and everyone's like, and it's like, that's because these people like got the juice and they're just like, oh, they don't even know what they're doing. I'm not saying that anybody that got the juice is a sheep. I'm just saying it was a hilarious video, a hilarious visual. Like somebody's like, yo, I can't wait till Chuck gets up there and spits a rhyme. It's like, I hate everything. And then there's videos of DeGarbio with Slick Rick, and like DeGarbio literally is in the backstage with Slick Rick, and like Slick Rick just collected like a fat grip of cash, probably to rap like 10 songs on this stage, paid for by the taxpayer. And DeGarbio's back there like, and Slick Rick's like, yo, you can wear my necklace for 15 seconds because I just collected a fat bag of cash. And I'm about to dipset and never talk to you again, Bill. And Bill's like, this is the greatest honor of my career. He's like, I'm one with the people. And it's like, Bill, no one likes you. Literally 0 people like you. You're trash to your job. Slick Rick only likes you because you just gave him racks upon racks of taxpayer money to like literally to rap to a bunch of whatever. He's like, Slick Rick. He's like, we got George Clinton. He's like, sing a song. It's like they're like in a press conference and like the guy's singing and he's like, oh, this is a bop. This is a bop. It's like, yo, get off the microphone. Like, we hate you, dude. I don't know. Whatever. I don't even know who this person is, but Mikey on Facebook said, Chuck Schumer's got the body of Gargamel from the Smurfs. I don't even know who that is, but I believe you. I believe that probably is true. Holy Christmas. That's hilarious. He looks like a Gargamel for sure. I don't even know, but I can imagine. Like I'm gonna giggle that real quick. Gargamel from the Smurfs. Oh my God. Yo, yes, that is correct. He has the body of Gargamel from the Smurfs. I agree. That was really funny. Mikey. Oh God. Anyways, so yeah, back to the point. It's like, so all these people are like mad and arguing about like juiced v unjuiced, yet they don't even understand that like our common enemy, which is anybody that wants to force you to do whatever they want you to do at any given time, or they can deperson you. Like that's our common enemy, but we're all like riding on the horse, like Paul Revere, like, yo, the British are coming, and they're like, no, they're not. And it's like, all right. I mean, I don't know how much evidence you need, but like they're literally coming. Like, here's a photo that I took on my Nokia. Like, here's a photo. They're coming up the hill, and they're just like, nah, who told you to do that, Donnie? It's like, I hate you. But whatever. So the main point, the point of all of this is that I wish that all of these people that choose to troll comments and act virtuous, like they somehow are better than thou because they decided that the juice was right for them. If they were like, how many people do you want to die? It's like, obviously nobody wants anybody to die. But if I could summarize 2020 and 2021, the biggest problem that faces the world, if I could summarize it in one sentence, it would be depth of understanding. People don't look at the full picture of what's going on. They don't look at the full toll of what is actually occurring. They just look at how they are lying to us with statistics. They're using statistics to say this is up tenfold, this is down tenfold, this is up the cases and tests and deaths, and it's overrun. The hospitals are overrun, and it's like they are fear mongering every single person, and everybody, like, they see the narrative that aligns with their view of the world, and then they just start yelling about it. Meanwhile, all of this other terrible human suffering, all of this non-virtuous human suffering is occurring all over the place, and they don't even care. And they're just like, no, who, Donnie, Donnie, Donnie. It's like, yo, we're not even on Donnie anymore. If you've listened to me for the last several months, I haven't been talking about Donnie. I haven't been on here like, Donnie, Donnie, save us, Donnie. Meet me in a pineapple under the sea, Donnie. It's like, Pompeo, like I'm not talking about Donnie anymore. And to be honest, as much as all these people fail to even understand or realize, and probably don't want to realize anyways, it was never about Donnie. Donnie was just the jockey on the horse that I thought was better equipped to ride us into success. Was he better than Joey Basement? Absolutely. Is he the best in the world? No. Is he even the best in the world right now? No, probably not. Yet it's just like they're just like, Daddy. It's like they found this common enemy. They found this target of which they can all rally around. So they're just like, it's Donnie. And it's like, no, it's not. Like, I'm not talking about Donnie. I don't think Donnie's going to be the president again. I certainly don't think he's going to be the president in the next couple of months. I certainly don't think he's going to be the president at any time in the next 3 years. Donnie is not going to save us. There's not a super secret underground upside down military plan. Donnie's not playing 700 dimensional chess. That stuff's not going to happen. That is a fake garbage theory that just distracts people from paying attention to what's really going on. And as we're all just like, Afghanistan, Afghanistan, it's like, meanwhile, they're clapping teachers in our own neighborhoods. They're forcing the juice on people that are supposed heroes. So 5 months ago, these were the heroes. Everybody stop and clang a pot out your window for the heroes. Frontline heroes. Yet when the frontline heroes are like, yo, I'm not trying to get juiced right now, they're just like, nah. They're like, nah, you're bad. Fire you. Take away your livelihood. Take away your ability to earn money. You're garbage. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all the bravery, but kick rocks, pound sand, jabroni. Meanwhile, like the people in the military, all these people. I saw this thing the other day that was talking about how like one of the highest concentrations of people that have refused to get the juice, good, bad, or indifferent. I'm not telling you how to go live your life, what to do with your body. You do whatever you want. You judge the risks and the benefits, and you weigh them out for yourself and your life. I'm not acting like I know what's best for you. I just going to treat myself how I want to be treated, and I believe that you should have the right to do the same. But it's like a lot of doctors, a lot of nurses are not doing that. A lot of people that are in the military don't want to do that. A lot of police officers and first responders don't want to do that. And 6 months ago, they were our heroes, and we should clang our pots and pans on the front porch and sing their praises. And DeGarbio was like, make a hot turkey dinner for the frontline heroes. Here's a parade for the heroes. Parade, parade, parade. And it's just like, meanwhile, he's like, and you're fired. They're all just like, teachers. Our school teachers are the backbone of America. School teach. And then they're like, take the juice or you're fired. Take the juice or you have no job anymore. Thanks for teaching our kids. You're fired. And it's like the public school system is trash. The public school system is primarily trash because the government got its dirty little paws in there and messed it all up. The Department of Education is garbage. They're like, they're not getting enough funding. Fundy, fund. Meanwhile, the more money they get doesn't determine the value of it. Then you got Joey Basement printing money out of the literal sky to now give free community college for 2 years. That's about to be the most expensive community college that ever existed in the history of the world. Because the community college is not free. It's not provided by the government. It's still provided by a private entity. Or, it's a state school. Yeah, the cost of that's going to go through the roof. Because the federal government's going to be paying those bills. So all those states are going to be like, they're going to kick all that up. And you're going to have a bunch of people that go to college for free that really shouldn't be in college. That should be in the workforce. Not only being productive and gaining experience, but not sucking off the teat of the structure. And they're going to go and learn things that they don't need to learn so that they can kick the can down the road and be like, sorry me, I got a degree in upside down underwater pottery. And it's like, bro, people are like, college, you don't think people deserve to go to college? It's like last time I checked, lots of people go to college. And what are those people even doing with those college degrees? A lot of those college degrees have been rendered useless and worthless because they're giving them away like candy because they told everybody that they need to get one. So they just increase the price, reduce the quality. And then you have big companies like Tesla, for example. You don't even need a degree to get hired at a company like Tesla. It's like, it's so upside down and backwards. And people are like, who told you that, Donnie? And it's like, yo, it's like All right, the British aren't coming, you chooch. It's like I'm just out here going for like a casual night ride on this horse so that I can lie to you about the British coming. It's like the British are coming. And they're like, who told you that, Donnie? Meanwhile, they get a musket pop to the freaking jugular, and they're like, "Oh, Donnie, who told you, Donnie?" It's like, okay, they're like buy like a pound of tea, and it's like $600, and they're like, "Oh, who made this tea expensive, Donnie?" It's like, no, we've been trying to tell you, but whatever. And somehow they think that all these people are stupid. It's like, so you're gonna say that the people that are like doing the research, risking social ostracization, is that a word? Ostracization, being ostracized socially. Is that? Can you make that an ing? Ostracization, ostracized. Is there ostracization? Is that a word? Whatever, you get it. People that are like risk being socially banned from like people in their circle, like, oh, you don't get to come to the I Love NYC concert. Slick Rick's gonna be there with KRS-One and DJ Chuck Schumer. Freaking Bill de Blasio made a post on his page that almost made me smash my head into the nearest brick wall. He called Chuck Schumer, and he called himself King Blasey. King Blasey. The sad part about it is there are people out there that would actually acquire that album. They're like, yo, do you have that on CD? It's like, no one buys CDs. King Blasey. It's like, what? This guy sucks, but whatever. You guys got that new King Blasey track? It's like, no, I literally don't. But yeah, DJ Killer Chuck. It's like, yeah, literally though. More like Job Killer Chuck. DJ Killer Chuck and King Blasey. And it's like I said, it's like, I literally, somebody said King Blasey Ford. Holy Christmas. The sad part about this is as the world like rides off the rails, somehow, despite all of this horrible stuff, people are still convinced that it's a left-right, red-blue trap because they're not paying attention with any depth of understanding. They're not going far enough to understand the true human suffering that's happening as a result of all of this stuff. So it would be really nice if more people would realize and more people would understand that the problem is not with all of us. They've successfully managed to convince us to demonize and fight with each other off of literally nothing, inconsequential nothing burgers, while they're destroying every single thing else and taking all of our freedom away. And they got people arguing in the streets. And the thing that's so crazy too is people will be like arguing in the streets and fighting with each other, protesting and like literally shooting each other and punching each other and fighting in the streets, while the people that are really making stuff happen, they're taking all of the wealth. They're doing all the stuff that they need to do. There's no problem for them. They have no issues. They've got no problem. They're making money. They're making more money than ever. And it's like, okay. And like they've successfully managed to convince everybody to be mad at each other. So that's why what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to be more cognizant of as I move forward through the content that I create is to not be like Joey, Joe, because it's not just Joe. Joe just so happens to be the current ringleader of this trash circus that's in flames and flying off of a bridge. It's not Joe. It's not Joe, and it's not anybody. It's just the structure, as it were. It's the military industrial complex. It's all of the people that financially benefit as a result of all this suffering. It's the pharmaceutical industry, and them that they're all just making cash on cash on cash, more money than they ever made ever. And it's just like people somehow think that just making a crap ton of money is not enough to convince these people to be complete savages. It's like, that's the reason why most bad things have ever happened, because people are just savage and they don't care about anything but money and power. So it's like, Yeah, you got Faisal, you got Modern, you got all these skyrocketing stocks making money hand over fist. You got all the rich, you got all the rich elites that are flying on private jets. They're like, yeah, make them get the juice so that they can fly. Those people aren't going to need to get the juice to fly. They're just going to fly on their own jets. They don't care. They don't get on a bus. They're not getting on trains. They don't do that. They're not getting in an Uber. They're not getting in an Uber. So it's like, and people are somehow like, you like Donnie, and it's like, bro, it's like they don't even understand. It's just like, look at where the money is flowing, and the only people that you should be mad at, or at least focusing your attention on, is the people that are benefiting at the top of this economic pyramid, that are facilitating this massive wealth shift, where it's like the amount of the difference in cost between an already built house and a brand new house is closer now than at any point in history. And it's like, it's so expensive to buy a house that all these big companies like BlackRock, for example, which is like the pinnacle of all money, the largest private equity firm on the planet, that all these rich people all have shares of BlackRock. And I mean, you can too. I'm not saying that you don't, but anybody can have shares of this. But you got this huge private equity firm that's buying up all these houses from the middle class, literally taking away the one instrument of their wealth and their protection, place for them to live. They're going to buy up all these houses. They're going to wait until all of the lumber and all the rest of the stuff hopefully maybe goes down. They're going to remodel them, jack up all the rents, and they're going to have such a grip over all the properties that everybody's going to be trapped and stuck. And it's going to be owned by these mega conglomerates that have all the political pull they need, that in the event that there's a eviction moratorium, you think BlackRock owned homes are going to be subject to the same risks that your average mom and pop? They're just going to shake everybody out so that nobody owns any property. And they're going to further into this socialist future where the corporate elites own all of the property, own all the assets, and everybody else is just a serf, just an unjuiced serf wearing a diaper, while they send their kid to school to be in a plexiglass cube to learn from a person that's juiced about how bad Donnie baseball is, and learn about critical garbage theory, and learn about how the world actually isn't, and just get indoctrinated in some federally run garbage school so they can learn trash about nothing. They can learn how to recite numbers. They can learn about Marilyn Monroe. There's more pages in history books about Marilyn Monroe than there are about Andrew Jackson, than there are about Abraham Lincoln. They don't care about the future for these kids. And these kids are all growing up to think that the air is poison, that your neighbor is poisonous, that you have to wear a diaper to go outside and breathe, that your neighbor could kill you, that another kid at the park could kill you. Horrifying. The long-term psychological effects, and they're like, the kids don't even care. They think they're a ninja. It's like, bro, who are the adults here? They think they're a ninja. Okay, John Oliver, this guy's a clown. John Oliver is such a bought and paid for AT&T shill. Oh, goo. Anyways, so I don't want to just like come on every time and be like gloom and doom and gloom and everything's garbage in the world is trash. All I'm saying is like, it would be real cool if more people would realize, first and foremost, the gratitude thing, being thankful we're alive, being happy and taking care of our mental health. Obviously, that's important. But if more people would understand that we're all on the same team, that we just have different understandings and interpretations of what the right answer is and how to get there. And instead of fighting and battling with each other and arguing about it, it's like, could we all pay attention to our common enemy, which is the loss of our freedoms, the loss of liberty? Because what people fail to understand is they're like, communism, it's all good. Socialism. I'm a democratic socialism. Oh, crazy-o, make me a Moscow mule, oh, crazy-o. She's so fresh and she's so charismatic. It's like, you garbage merchant. Like, this woman is literally on the steps of the Capitol building, not wearing a diaper for a photo, taking it off 5 seconds later so she can inhale particles from a bunch of different people that she's sitting around. These people are virtue signaling garbage merchants. They don't care about you. She's like, my abuela. It's like, bro, you make $180,000 a year. You have a Tesla parked illegally in front of a Whole Foods. Shut up. Why don't you send your abuela a couple of shekels, you clown sneaker? Donnie, abuela. But like, they don't understand that like hard times are solved by the free market. They're free by capitalism. They're free by the free market doing its thing. The schools would be better run if they were privately run. If you could have charter schools, if you could have independent schools, if you could have somebody that's not under the thumb of the government and their one size fits all approach to how people are supposed to learn. So it's just like the world keeps slipping into this like dystopian 1984 hellscape, and people are like, who? And they're like taking the 30 seconds of their day while they're like on the crapper at their job that they hate, and they're in their miserable life, and they're like, oh, what are you gonna go drink bleach now with Johnny Ballpark? And it's like, bro, like, first of all, like, put your phone down before you drop it in the bowl. Make sure you don't forget to wipe all the way. And also, it's not about that, you clown sneaker. Use your platform to get us through this. Shut up, Brian. Nobody asked you, Brian. I didn't ask for your opinion, Brian. Click the X or unfollow, you chooch. I don't care about your opinion, dog. What do you think I'm doing? I'm not doing this for you, you bag of rice. Why don't you use this? Gay. It's like, shut up. It's like, I don't care about your DMs, you clown. And like that one lady on Facebook, Linda, she's like, you're an ass wipe. I'm like, you're a 60-year-old human woman, and you're just like in my DM every couple of weeks telling me that I'm an asshole. It's like, all right, like, who hurt you, Linda? Get back to work. Like, go see your grandchildren. Like, take a hike, find a dandelion, and like, you know what I mean? Like, blow some spores. Like, get some sunlight. What do you mean? She's like, you suck. I'm like, okay. Like, of all the people in the world that you're gonna like shed your hate on, they're just like, where? They're like, screw you, Bob. I'm like, okay, yeah. My bad. I guess, sorry for use your platform. Tickle my bag with your platform. I'm like, no, Brian. He's like, why don't you do what I want you to do? It's like, nah, I'm good though, but thank you for the suggestion. Yeah, literally, who hurt you, Brian? Oh my God. I forgot to thank the people with the badges. Thank you so much for everybody that's been buying the badges on Instagram. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. Jen Lisa 80, Angela B Fit, Anna Maria with the triple badge buy. Thank you, Anna Maria. Hello Kitty 3, Kells 8705, Michelle AD, Leo's the Lion, Drew Graham Fitness, Sean 87 Callahan, Abby 208, and Chooks Official. Thank you guys for the badges. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the support. Much love. And thank you to everybody that's been supporting on Patreon. I really appreciate that. And people that have been buying merch, I appreciate that so much. Thank you guys for the support. I really appreciate it. I do have PayPal. You can pay with PayPal on bobbysauce.com. You can go to the donate page. It's also in my link tree. Or you can send a PayPal to woke@bobbysauce.com. I believe that email will work as well. Or woke@bobbysaucelido.com. I believe either of those emails will work on PayPal. Jay Money says, Maria P loves you and wants to date you. She's a naughty nurse. All right. This guy likes ball sacks. Okay, Jason. I'm not sure if are you talking about me? I like ball sacks. How to try to fight smart against tyranny. Speak up, talk to more people about it. Make your voice heard, make videos, turn the camera on yourself. I think that's been the message that I've been trying to reiterate as much as possible. Dude's World says, check your DMs. I sent you a doc on the FDA. I appreciate all the DMs. I really do. A lot of people slide into the DMs and send me messages all the time, and I really do appreciate it. But like, I need more people to understand that I'm literally getting 500 DMs a day. Like, a new DM comes in pretty much every minute to 2 minutes, every single day, all day long. So it's really hard for me to get them. And people will send me like a document. It's like, I'm doing a lot of research and I see a lot of stuff on a daily basis. So like, I see a lot of stuff. So if you're going to send me something, I need you to preface it with a short and sweet information about what it is. It's like people are bombing my DMs with so much stuff. And then they're like, why didn't you respond, you shill? I'm like, They're like, what do you work for, Donnie? And I'm like, Alice says, I'm going to start making videos. You inspire me. Thank you so much. You should be making videos. I mean, this platform, as much as people hate it sometimes, this is the best distribution method for the truth. And just be tactical about how you say things. And you know, and start speaking up, not only on the internet, but in your immediate communities, in your social circles, at your schools, at your school board meetings, because really that's the key to all this, is making more people aware. Go back to the forest, you owl. Yeah, agreed. That's where Quom should go. Mark says, any advice for people who want to start making content? Just start making it. That's it. Just turn the camera on yourself and put it out. Don't be afraid of what it is. Don't be afraid if it's good or bad. Just start making it and just pump it out. You shouldn't even need to ask that question. Any advice for people to start making content? Literally make it. Just make it. The first video I made was stupid. And I made hundreds of videos that were stupid. There's a lot of videos that I put out that people are like, what? And like some of them do well and some of them don't. And ones that I didn't anticipate going nuclear, go nuclear. And some that I thought would go nuclear, don't. Just put it out and keep putting it out. If I made a video today that was bad, here's a newsflash. I'd have a new video tomorrow. That's what it is. I made a 15-second video a week ago that has 650,000 views on Instagram and 50,000 views on TikTok. 15-second clip. 600,000. You're talking almost 700,000 people have seen this. 700,000 people. That's more than the entire population of the city of Miami. Every single resident. It's like 700,000 people is more than the population of the city of Denver. And it's like, you know what I mean? It's like 15-second clip. You're telling me you can't figure out how to make a 15-second clip? Make reels. Make reels. Make a reel. Make a 15-second reel. Make a 15-second reel. Post it on Instagram. Make sure the lighting is good. Make sure you hold the phone steady. Make it hit. Think about the end result. Think about the person that sees it. Think about the value it creates for them. Think about the value that it's created for them when they share it. And then just make it and pump it out and keep making them. That's it. That's it. It's like, then take the clip, post it on YouTube Shorts, post it on Facebook, and then post it on TikTok and tag the tags that are relevant but have the most tagged posts. That's it. Deborah says, what are Bobby fans called? Nappers? I mean, you could call whatever you want. There have been some that have dubbed themselves the Sauce Squad. I've heard that. That has been a common one, but you can do whatever you want. I haven't. Sauce fans? Sauce. Spread the sauce. I don't know. Whatever is clever, but I appreciate it. Derek is asking on Facebook. He said, do you see the protests overseas? Yeah, of course. I've been watching them all every day. I'm watching them every day. Thanks, Michelle. She said good night. Jeez, what time is it? It's only 8 o'clock. Good night. Well, she's maybe in a different time zone. I saw, you see Sean 87 Callahan in the comments. Sean followed the lead. Sean got on a live with me one day. He was talking about making content, and now he puts out good content. And his first video, the camera was a little shaky. Maybe the lighting wasn't great. The next one was better. The next one was better. And this guy is going to keep putting out content, and it's going to get better and better and better. And he's making reels, and he's making posts, and he's reaching people. And some of the people that are in this live stream right now, including myself, went to his page and started following him. And not that I'm like the great one, but when Sean makes a piece of content that's really fire, I'll share that up to my story. Not that the stuff that he hasn't made already isn't great, but it's like I reposted a photo the other day from this account that had this guy that had 75 followers, and he had 50 likes on this photo or 40 likes on this photo. I reshared it up to my story. It got 8,000 views. There's 500 people follow this account now, and the image has 500 likes. I don't know if it was just me, but that's what happened after I posted it up to my story one time. The most times that my story has ever been viewed ever was yesterday. 9,000. There was like 9,600 something views on my story yesterday. And it's not because I'm doing anything different. It's just that I keep showing up and it keeps getting better. The lives get better. The content gets better. The research gets better. The reels get better. A month ago when I made my first reel, I had 124,000 views on this reel. And I was like, that's insane. I can't believe this reel is 124,000 views. Well, now my biggest one is almost close to 700,000. And now I have multiples that I have one that's over 300, over 200. And I'm not trying to brag. It's not about me. I'm just saying I'm making 15-second reels that are getting better and better over time, and they're being seen by hundreds of thousands of people. Now when I make a bad reel, it gets 25,000 views. My lowest one is like 19,000, and that's because it was bad lighting, and I didn't think about what was going on for the other end, how the person was receiving it. Now when I make a reel, I think about what's the value that's created for the person that sees the reel. So It's like follow people like Sean. Sean may not have thousands of followers yet, but he's putting out good content. The guy's obviously on point, and like he's going to get better and better with the content that he makes, and he's going to reach more and more people. And one of these days, he's going to make a piece of content that's going to go nuclear, and he's going to go from 500 followers to 2,000 followers, and then he's going to keep going, and then he's going to make another one that's going to go nuclear, and it's going to go from 2,000 to 6,000. And before you know it, 12 months from now, if he keeps at it, he'll have 50,000 followers, just like my account does, maybe more, maybe better than that. Because if you keep doing something, if you keep working at it, it grows. If you focus on something, it gets better. So it's just like, so people are like, what do I do? It's like, make stuff, talk to people. I don't know. It's like, I'm on here just doing stuff because this is what I feel like I'm supposed to do. That's it. And it continues to grow, and it gives me it reminds me that what is being done is necessary, and people reach out and they're like, thank you. They're like, this is the only thing that's getting me through this, or this is comedic relief. And it's like, great. So it's like I get all of these encouraging messages, and I have people that reach out and support. They send in donations, they buy badges, they buy merch, they make donations online, they go on the Patreon, they buy a Cameo, they buy a video, they buy a t-shirt or whatever. And that's what happens. People will fire off Venmos. I never would even thought somebody would have sent a Venmo. They'll share my video to their story, huge accounts, blue check mark accounts. And it's just like, that's because the message is right. So if you believe in whatever it is that you're doing, people will recognize that, and they'll want to support it, endorse it, and share it. Kristen said, you and Billy rock. Thank you. Shannon, you were born to do this. Hell yeah. Thank you, Shannon. Leo said, we need more Bobbies to wake the sheep. No, we need more yous to wake the sheep. I'm just one guy. I'm just a guy that yells into his phone. So Diana on Facebook just asked me, did I get the shirt she sent me? I got a couple gifts this week that I haven't shared yet. This came in the mail, which I appreciate very much. This is a pineapple under the sea. For anybody that can't see it, this is a glowing pineapple under the sea. This is Donnie's house. This came in the mail. I appreciate that very much. I did get this awesome shirt, which I'll show you right now. Look at this. How about that? It says, what are we doing? Thank you so much, Diana. I appreciate that. I haven't had a chance to share my thanks for these gifts, but this is pretty sweet. I'm a big fan of that. Also, I got this shirt in the mail from DJ, I don't know how to pronounce it, Goody B. This came in the mail as well. Appreciate that. And there's a couple more gifts that have been coming in, so I appreciate that. For anybody that has been sending me stuff or wants to send me stuff, please see the updated address that I have on my website, on the contact page, on bobbysauce.com, on the contact page. You can see the correct address. I got a new mailbox because the people at that UPS store that I was working with are garbage merchants, so they're trash. So I got a new mailbox at a better UPS store, and such is capitalism. Vote with your dollars, that's all. Mark says, you're really inspiring me. I appreciate the advice and motivation. You're welcome, Mark. Thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words. And like, that's the thing, is like those types of endorsements, those types of messages, those types of comments, that's the type of stuff that really makes it all worth it. It's like when hundreds of thousands of people see stuff, share stuff, post it all around, and people are literally messaging you and saying, hey, this changed my mind. One message like that feels just as good as 50 messages like that. So it's just like, just go out there and start making some content. If that's what you believe is the best way for you to get your voice heard or pass this information around. Maybe the best way for you to do it is for you to talk to people in your immediate social circle. I don't know, but certainly something is better than nothing. If you got to do it when you're dropping a hot brown, just make a couple of posts, maybe you do a little tweet or something, do it. But don't ask, like, how do I do it? It's like, you just go and figure it out. That's how everybody does it. They figure it out. They work really hard at it and they get better at it over time. That's the game. That's what happens. And then as a result, people reach out and they support things and the good rises to the top. That's just what happens. There's absolutely nothing special about me or more special about me than anybody else. I just work really hard at it. That's it. I just keep showing up. In case anybody forgot, And I'll remind you, and again, I'm not trying to make this about me. My video, I had 1,100 followers on August 20th, 2020. 1,100. I was frustrated with the political system. I'd been paying attention for a number of years. I was sitting here at my desk after I finished making a website, and I just shot a video of myself being like, yo, this is so stupid. Posted the video, didn't think much of it. The next morning, it had 35,000 views. At the end of the next day, it had 60,000 views. I went from 1,100 followers to 5,500 followers in a couple of days. I started making a video every other day. The next one got 50,000 views. I was like, whoa, I can't believe this has 50,000 views. This is crazy. So I started like, I'm going to make a video every day. I literally made a video almost 7 days a week every day until the election happened. And I went from 5,000 followers up to probably about 25,000 followers by November. From November until January 20th, when the actual when Joey Basement got picked up and thrown into office, like Weekend at Bernie style, I think I had 30,000 followers then. From January 20th to July 4th, I went from 30,000 to maybe 40,000 followers. On July 4th, I had 40,000 followers or 42,000 followers. On July 4th, I started making reels. And from July 4th until today, August 23rd, in the last 30 days, this account has grown by 14,000 people, 14,000 because of the reels. So the fastest, most incremental growth came 12 months or 11 months after I started doing it every day. I built websites. I built probably 3 to 5 websites every month of every year for the last 13 years. That was my full-time job. In August of 2020, I stopped building websites so that I could do this. Instead of thinking about websites, what I'm going to do, the deadlines, how I'm going to build it, what the design is going to be, talking on the phone, I just do this. And even despite that, it took me 11 months to get it up to here. So it's like, even though it's 11 months, it's only 11 months. Anybody could do that. So it's like, people are like, how do I do it? It's like, just do it. Mikey said, go buy yourself a circle light and a microphone. Yeah, I mean, this microphone was $120. It's a Rode microphone. I bought it offline. This stand arm thing was like $25. It was like nothing. The stand that my phone is on right now was like $20. The ring light, the circle light was like $30. I don't even use it. I just use the natural light in the room or the light from outside. I don't even use the ring light. I have 4 monitors. The monitors light me from every angle. Maybe it's a little blue, whatever. I don't care, but that's what I do. Could it get better? Sure. Z Queen says, I found you on TikTok. That's what's up. Cherie says, Jen Lee AZ is in here in the chat. She's been a fan since 8/21/20. Yeah, a lot of people have. And I remember Jen messaging me way back at the very beginning. She's an OG. And people have watched the progression, but it's like, to reiterate, good rises to the top. People support things that are good and right. People rally around things that they agree with, that they believe are beneficial to the world. And the fact that anybody, especially and people in this chat, are willing to part with even $5, even $1 of their money to just put a tip in the jar to help me keep this going is amazing to me. I would have never thought on that first day when I made that first video that anybody would ever even do that. So it's like, again, it's like we don't even know what's on the other side of doing what we believe is right. You know? It's like, I don't know. I just feel like people are like, how do I? It's like everybody needs somebody to hold their hand. It's like, no, you can do it yourself. It's like every single thing that you need, you already have. Just start getting better. People like, it's like with exercise. People are like, I don't know how to exercise. It's like, just go start walking. Like literally stand up, walk, go for a walk. Take a 1 mile walk every day. It's very simple. Special education teacher Mrs. K says on YouTube, I watched you since I first saw you on Cash's show. I thought of you as the one with class. That's what's up. Thank you, Mrs. K. I appreciate that. And yeah, like there's been little things. Hello Kitty 3 says, where can I see your first video? Every single one of my videos is on my Instagram account in the IGTV section or right on the profile grid, as well as on Facebook and YouTube. Every single one is there. If you want to see the very first one, the easiest place to find it is on YouTube. Just go on YouTube, go to Politrix, the playlist, and go back down to the last one. Z Queen says, I thought you were funny last summer when I saw people reposting you on TikTok. Nice. Yes, Nancy says we complicate things one step at a time. Yes, exactly. It's like overthinking is just like delaying the inevitable, which is like if you want to do what you got to do, you got to do it. Somebody said, I was sold when I watched your self-made mask from the glove box to buy a tomato. Oh yeah. Yeah. I used the arm sling in my car from the first aid kit to make a mask. That was a good one. Content is fire. Thank you, Jesse. Randy says, I didn't know you were popular. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I'm that popular. I mean, there's a lot of accounts that have a whole lot more action than me. But I'm just out here doing it, hustling, just doing the best that I can. And I believe that, look, it's like in life, in business, whatever you want to call it, we have to understand where our strengths are and where our weaknesses are. And we have to lean into the things that we're able to do better than the next 100 people. I believe, as made evident by how the market has voted with their attention, that my ability to communicate and otherwise homogenize complicated subjects in an entertaining and comedic way, in a delivery that's digestible by any and all people, for me to do the research necessary in order to spread what I believe is important information at a very crucial time. I believe that my ability to do that has been rewarded with attention, and therefore that's the skill that I may have over the next 10, 100, 1,000, whatever people. It's just that the marketplace voted for that's what it wanted me to do, so that's why I'm doing it. Like when I made websites, it's like I thought I made the best websites. I genuinely believed in my heart that the sites I was making were the best websites for the price for the people that were buying them for me. And that's why I sold a ton of websites, sold 1,000 websites, built them for small, medium-sized businesses all over the world. And it's like, you just got to identify where your strength is and lean into it and continue working at whatever it is. And you'll find the thing that's going to be the spot that you lock in, and the marketplace will vote with its attention based on what you should do. It's like I started making reels. The reels are going nuclear. I'm like, all right, I'll make some reels. I never really thought that I wanted to make a 15-second reel. I'm like, what am I going to make in 15 seconds? That's insane. Like, how am I going to deliver something of actual value in 15 seconds? But instead, I let the marketplace dictate what it wanted me to do, and I started making the reels. And now we're talking tens of millions of views, 10 million something views probably through those reels, and then through TikTok. And I was like, TikTok, that's for 14-year-olds. And then like I got on TikTok and I was like, oh wow, like I understand how this could really go nuclear. So it's like, these are the things that we learn as we're leaning into whatever it is that we're supposed to be doing. And I think that any of you would find that the same way that I found it. I had a guy or a gal, I can't even remember, message me that they started making reels the other day. I think he had like 7,000 followers or something like that. And he was making reels that were getting like a couple hundred views. And he made a reel that got 50,000 views. And his reach went up like 23,000% or something insane. And he's like, yo, these reels really work. And I'm just like, yeah. What's up, Nicola? So it's like, I believe that Instagram reels right now are the most undervalued distribution mechanism of free thought in the world right now. I think that Instagram reels, specifically Instagram reels, is the most undervalued attention and underpriced attention on the entire planet. I think that if people could recognize the extremely timely moment that we're in right now, matched with the gas that Facebook is putting behind reels, they would understand that this message right now, using an otherwise untapped engine like reels, is the greatest opportunity to distribute free thought at scale instantly, maybe ever. in human history. I mean, you could say TikTok is, because TikTok, I mean, like things can really go like mega ultra nuclear on TikTok, but I've been getting consistently higher distribution on Reels than I have on TikTok. Maybe it's because the content is more suited to the demographic that's more commonly on Instagram versus TikTok. I don't know, but the Reels are being distributed by Facebook in an effort to take that market share away from the attention that's currently on TikTok. The average human has like an 8-second attention span. I think I saw something the other day that said that a human being has a shorter attention span than like a fish. Your modern day human. So Reels, especially 15-second or less Reels, to me are the most underutilized free thought distribution tool on the earth right now, especially with a message that fits that demographic that uses Instagram and something that has the gas that it has. If you make something that has the right lighting, has the right sound, has the right message, and is shot in a way that is digestible so that somebody can watch it in 15 seconds, get real value, share it, and then their other followers will be like, that was really cool. You go like nuclear with it. And the thing that's so amazing, this is a statistic that really blew my mind, and I hope that your understanding of this, I hope that your understanding of, or you seeing this. Sorry, when I read the comments, I get distracted. That you hearing this will help you understand the severity of this moment, which I think is so significant. Okay, there's this website called Social. Excuse me. There's a website called Social Blade, socialblade.com. What Social Blade does is it comes up with a follower rank based on the total number of followers for every large account on Instagram. There are over 1 billion users on Instagram. 1 billion. There's over 1 billion users. My account right now is ranked 643,825th of all the Instagram users in the world. So out of 1 billion, I'm in the top 700,000, 643,000 users by followers rank in the entire world out of 1 billion. 1 billion is 1,000 millions, which means that this account is in the top 0.1% of all Instagram accounts in the world. The top 0.1, not 1%, 0.1. The top 0.1%, 1/10 of a percentage. That's where this account is with only 60. I think I have 63,000 something followers, and it's in the top 0.1, the top 10th of 1% with 63,000 followers. And that was done in 12 months and 2 days. 12 months and 2 days to be in the top 0.1, 10th of 1% of all the Instagram accounts in the world. So it's like, that's not even the top 1%, the top 0.1. In 1 year. And again, it's like, I'm not doing anything that's so remarkable. What I'm doing is being consistent, caring about it, and working really hard at it. That's it. It's like, it's not that special. It's not me so much as it is the message. No one cares what I look like. No one cares about my face. Someone messaged me one time. They're like, I want to do it, but I have like a birthmark on my face. And it's like, yo, no one cares about the birthmark on your face. There's a woman on Instagram that has millions of followers that was once dubbed in a newspaper. She was like, there was press articles written about her as the ugliest woman in the world. And she has some type of a disease or some type of issue. I hate to butcher the truth about what it is, but she does not look like most women look. And like, this woman's on here making videos being awesome. And she's really cool. So someone's like, I have a birthmark on my face. And it's like, a birthmark on your face? It's like, I empathize with you, but like, people care about the substance. There's a lot of people that the only thing they're there for is the substance. And I use the example of a restaurant all the time because I feel like restaurants are such a great analogy for understanding the world. People will go to the dirtiest, most out of the way, inconvenient, sloppiest restaurant with the worst service and the worst waiters and food on the table, and the door is dirty and the hours suck if the food is fire, because the only thing that matters at the end of the day is the food. because that's what you're there for. That's why you go to the restaurant, the food. Yes, you want atmosphere. Yes, you want it to be clean. Yes, you want good service. Yes, you want a good glass of wine. But really what you want is the food. You want the best food. So it doesn't matter what package it comes in. What matters is the food itself. And it's nice if you have all those other things, but if the food is good, you can get away with a lot. So if you're saying that you have a birthmark on your face, okay, maybe that's the restaurant that's a little bit out of the way, or is off the main road, or is on the second story, or whatever. Spitfire said, "Did I cut my own hair?" No. Yes, I did, with a lawnmower. Yeah, somebody said that birthmark might be their key to success. Exactly, because it's memorable. That's exactly right. People don't even understand that your greatest issue may be your greatest advantage. It's this perceived roadblock. Everybody, like, they create this roadblock for why they can't do whatever they had to do. And it's like, okay. It's like, I don't really think that is the case. My son said to me, "What is it now?" Yes. The kids are going to be all right. Can I please say this live? Yeah, of course. I save every live. Every live that I do is on Facebook and YouTube, and will be on Instagram as well. Diana says, "I'm too shy to do what you do what you're doing. When I get my first check, I'm start donating, but I'm sharing your videos." Too shy to do what you're doing. Then make your voice heard in other ways than this. Make a podcast, or like just tell people in your community, people that you love, whatever. Make sure you're contributing something. Somebody said, "Please do the Mitt Romney." I don't know what that is. Sean said, "A good friend of mine from high school said I'm ugly in a reel." What a clown sneaker. The things that people say are oftentimes a reflection of how they feel about themselves, sadly. So I wouldn't take that to heart. Sable says, "I've been bullied my whole life." Yeah, and that's horrible. Just use it as fuel. You drop a lot of gems. Thank you. John Graham. Yeah, I mean, I listened to this guy Dan Fleischman, who's a pretty successful dude, and he talks about he's like don't feed the trolls. He's like, don't feed the trolls. There'll always be more trolls, and really what they want is for you to feed them. And he's like, just block them. Just like go on and block them. And like at first with this account, I was like, I don't want to be blocking people. I want people to have access to the content. I don't want to be that type of account, whatever. But now it's like, if people slide in my DMs and they just like spew and hate at me, like I'll let it go for a minute. But if they keep doing it, I'll just block them. And it's like, and boom, just like that, you don't exist anymore. And Instagram has this tool now that allows for, if you block somebody, it will also block any additional accounts that they may create in the future. So they can block you, and then it will block any other accounts that you may create. So it's like, if somebody is going to troll you, it's like you can just get rid of them. That's the beauty of the internet now. So it's like, trolls are good. I mean, I would be surprised if you had no trolls. That's the thing. It's like, if you have no trolls, it means you're not reaching anybody. Jen says Bobby is hands down the best account ever. No joke. Thank you, Jen. Appreciate that. Martin says, "Do you hold XRP?" No, I don't have any crypto. I had some. I got rid of it all. I have real assets. I have stocks. I have real estate, online businesses, but no crypto for me. Pompeo. I saw some new badges come in. Thank you, Thank you. I think I already said thank you to Jen Lisa 80, but thanks stormfitness.chico. Thanks 10 Amy Lynn 02, and thanks Keto Vampire for the badges on Instagram. I appreciate it. Thank you. Sable said, you're the reason why I want to start doing videos. Hell yeah. Do it up. We need it for sure. See, people around here rallying for Sean, and like, that's the thing. It's like, here's a dude that like decided to show up, and like, mark my words, like his account will continue to grow as long as he keeps being consistent and putting it out. It will grow. Thank you, Tiffany. Tiffany says, your range of ability to connect with your followers is amazing. Political, spiritual, comedy. Yes. Doing the best I can. Doing the best I can and having a good time doing it. And that's the thing too, is like, I was earlier today, I was like going to make the video of the day, and I'm like, it's pretty grim out here, Jack. Like, what a grim time. And I was just like, I almost need the live as much as I feel like other people need the live. It's like, it's good for me as well. Cause it's like, yo, are we all good? Because there's so many people that feel this way. The silent majority is actually the silent majority is very real. And there's so many people that care about this stuff. It's just the problem is that their voices are not amplified like the very limited amount of people that supposedly feel the other way. It's like there's this massive campaign going on to delegitimize any free thinker, to any person that thinks outside the box, anybody that has independent thought. Those people are demonized. It's like, what do you do? Research? It's like, yeah, what do you even mean? How anybody could make that a thing that's bad is mind blowing. I'm like, what? Like, would you do some research, you loser? It's like, okay. So, but when I was listening to Jordan Sarmo today, his podcast about his recovery from the Corona clap, the thing that really like changed my mind, because I was like bumming out earlier thinking about how all this stuff is just so bad. I'm like, you're going to, the dogs and the freaking Afghanistan and the women. I watched a woman like covered in a sheet being like cracked by this freaking like thing today in Afghanistan, and all these dudes sitting around watching. And I'm like, this is the earth. Like, what a disgusting world. And one thing that he mentioned in the pod was he was just like, I just remember to have gratitude and be thankful and like do the best that we can to hopefully output more good than than there is, and leave the world a better place, or do something that we believe is of value, whatever it is. It's like the person that makes a sandwich is just as important as the person that has the podcast, which is just as important as the person that is a teacher, which is just as important as the person that cuts the grass or cleans the toilet or serves the food or whatever else. It's like everybody has their role to play. You just got to figure out where you fit in and be the best in the world at that thing. And if you're in a job that maybe is not what you believe is the end all be all for yourself, gain as much experience as you can and work ethic from whatever that task is, do it the best that it's ever been done, and then graduate up. I remember when I was 19, I worked as a busboy at a hotel and a room service. I was bringing room service to people at this expensive hotel in Connecticut. And I was like dropping room service and like cleaning tables and folding freaking tablecloths. And I remember just being like, I'm so much smarter than this, but I need to absorb as much value out of this as I can. So I made $18 to $20 an hour setting tables. I learned about food. I learned about service. I learned about dynamic between in a workforce. I learned about hard work, putting in double shifts. I learned about working on a Saturday night when everybody else was out partying. I stacked my cash away. It's like you get cash right on the spot. There was a variety of different lessons that came from it. And it's like you juice it for as best you can. And then you take that lesson and you move it to the next step. And it's like, I remember sitting there and being like, this will be the last time I have a job this bad ever, because the next job will be better and better and better and better. And I just like kept keeping that mindset. And now to think that I haven't had a job in 13 years, haven't worked for anyone for 13 years, and I can reach and connect with people like you guys, and you guys will help support the cause. And like I said, buy merch, buy badges, donate, share the videos, and help me grow this account as another means of sustaining myself. It's amazing. And then on top of that, there's a purpose behind it. It's purpose driven. It's good for America and good that people are hearing this message. I mean, it's like, it's a beautiful thing. It's like the dream comes through when you just keep going after it. And it's like, it's never ends. It's never like, it's never like, all right, I'm there, I'm good. It's like, you're always just trying to get to the next step. You're always trying to do better, get better, improve, and like do something that you believe is your, your purpose. And it's interesting because the other thing too is that the preparation that's done while we're getting better at as many things as we can, all of that preparation all comes to fruition when an opportunity presents itself. When you prepare for opportunity over long periods of time, that's when you really get the most out of everything. It's like, some people will be like, you didn't, like, how you just had a video that took off. And it's like, most people don't know that I made hundreds and hundreds of videos before that first video. I made literally probably 200 hours of content. Maybe that's a little too much. I probably made 100 hours of content before my first video reached anybody, and did a whole lot of work and learned a whole lot of things. So it's like, just because you're not there immediately, it's like, just the key is to start the process. Andy Frisella was talking about this today, or yesterday on his story. He was like, just start the process. Audiophile says, my first job was at Papa John's. Yeah. So Damon John, for example, everybody knows Damon John from Shark Tank, CEO and founder of Fubu. 500, probably has 400, 500 million bucks. Guy's like stacked to the gills, owner of Shopify. He has a big stake in Shopify and a variety of other businesses. He's on Shark Tank. Damon John worked at Red Lobster. When he first started Fubu, he worked at Red Lobster. And Fubu has sold $6 billion worth of merchandise. $6 billion, just Fubu. And he's got a variety of other investments as well. And he worked at Red Lobster when he was like 25 years old, 26, 27 years old. So it's like, I think what's his face? I think it was Morgan Freeman, or maybe it was Snakes on a Plane. What's his name? This is a tasty burger. I don't think he got his first good movie role until he was like 40, in his 40s, 45. So I think it was what's his face? Oh yeah, Samuel L. Yeah, that's right. Samuel L. Jackson. I think it was the original founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken didn't start KFC until he was like 60 or 65. The founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken. He was like not rich by any stretch. I don't think Warren Buffett was even a millionaire until his 50s. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So it's like, yeah, Warren Buffett. Till he was a billionaire. Yeah. So 99% of Warren Buffett's wealth was earned after his 50th birthday. 99% of his wealth. Yeah, I don't know. So I just think that that's pretty interesting. When he was 21, his net worth was shy of $20,000. He had $1 million by the time he was 30. But I mean, this guy is an anomaly. This guy is a 1 in a million guy. There's plenty of other people that didn't make it until much later on. So the point is, yeah, there it is. Owner of KFC, became a billionaire in his 80s. So anyways, the lesson there is to just do whatever it is that you think it lights you up, get better all the time, and that's it. Wow, this is a really cool song. Well, hey, I had a good time chilling on here. It's right about to hit 2 hours, so I'm gonna stop the live stream for now. But I appreciate hanging out with y'all for a bit. It's easy to get lost in this messed up existence and be sad and depressed or whatever at all the stuff that's been going on. And it's like the world is bad in a lot of ways, but it's also so good. So I think that what's important is that we all remember to be thankful and have gratitude that we're even alive in the first place, and be thankful that we're here and that we even have the ability to put out more good into the world than we think exists right now. So with that being said, I do think that in the end, the good team wins. And I think that there's a lot of good in life to look forward to, despite all this bad stuff. They're not going to win. There's certainly more good people than bad. There's more good than evil. And I think at the end, life is still pretty good. As bad as it is, it's still pretty good. And hopefully we can keep it that way. So with that being said, thank you all for being here. Thank you to everybody that bought the badges. Thank you, Don Maureen, Keto Vampire, 10 Milan 02, Storm Fitness Chico, Jen Lisa Ada, Angela B. Fit, and Anna Maria Bodzas, Kello Kitty 3, Kel's 8705, Michelle D, Leo's the Line, Drew Graham Fitness, Sean 87 Callahan, Abby 28, and Chooks Official. Thank you guys all so much for the badges on Instagram. I appreciate it. Thanks to everybody for the comments and whatnot. If you don't already follow me on Facebook, follow me on Facebook. Please follow me on YouTube. Follow me on YouTube. Thank you, AZ Jamie Lynn, for the badge. Appreciate you. Follow me on YouTube, youtube.com/Bobby Sausalito. In my Instagram bio, Linktree, linktr.ee/take naps. Follow my Linktree, bobbysauce.com. All the links for everything are in the footer. Make sure that you follow me in all the places. Thank you all so much for the support. If you're interested, please consider checking out the Patreon. It's patreon.com/take naps. And thanks for being here. I appreciate you guys. And remember to keep the faith and know that as I titled this video on Facebook and YouTube, there is strength in unity, and we are all fighting what we believe to be the good fight. History will show who is successful in this venture, but I think as long as we have gratitude and thanks for our precious life, that I think all will be right in the world. Thank you so much for your attention. I appreciate